Hi and welcome back to Rolling the Robsons. This is just an update video of our time in 2024. We haven't done a lot on the channel in 2024 because, as people probably realise, we haven't had anything to use. We sold our caravan nearly 2 years ago now, so quite a while. And we've been trying to decide, should we buy a motorhome or should we buy a caravan? Now fortunately I got a camper van or motorhome for Christmas. Here it is here, it even has a nice opening door. So it's pretty impressive. But we're still thinking about that. I think we're still leaning towards a motorhome. I know we've talked about it a few times, but the price is one of the things that puts us off a bit. Yes, you can probably get cheaper parking because you can park in like car parks and things. You don't have to spend £40–50 a night on a campsite. We even looked at a few people that mentioned about going to rallies. We've been on rallies before with the Caravan Club, and even rallies now are £25 a night, which isn't horrendous, but that's no electric. That's kind of what we used to pay pre-COVID at the time, 25–30 quid a night with electric and even sometimes slightly decent facilities. So we're still thinking about the whole situation. And yeah, we've got a couple of motorhomes that we quite like. We've missed out on a couple just because I've been too risky. And it all comes down to money because I don't really want to have lots of debt. I don't like having debt at all, if I can get away with it, apart from the house. That's the only debt we really have now. Both cars are paid off. I've kind of been through this before. So we're just trying to decide what the next steps are. We've got two motorhomes. We've got a Heimer 682 at a 2009 plate. It's got 37,000 miles on, and we think we'll get that about £27,000. We've been to see it. Really nice. Tiny bit of damp, which we picked up. So they've got to get all that fixed. Nothing mega. But the little put off at the moment about that is that underneath the Ford chassis doesn't seem to last quite as well. The actual cab on the Ford's okay. Normally, like the Fiat at that point, they've got a massive list on their MOT history with all issues. That doesn't. But the actual chassis rails underneath are starting to go a bit rusty, which is understandable. It's 15 years old. I'm not expecting perfection. But if we're going to lash out that amount of money, £28,000, then ultimately we want something that's not going to cost us an earth, getting little repairs done it if we can, because that's pretty much all our budget blown. And we have looked at going back to a caravan. I really have. A dealer up in the northwest called Austin Mowbray Caravans. Give a quick shout out to them. My mum and dad bought their caravan from them and he's been great. Absolutely spot on. Fixed everything, anything they've picked up on that hasn't obviously been sorted during PDI, and he's sorted out straight away. No issues whatsoever. So would recommend using Austin. He seems a really decent guy. And he's had a couple of really good deals on caravans. 2021, 8-foot Coachman, it was £20,000. Other people were charging 25 to 28. He's had a few others. Now we've looked at that, and we've still got the problem with our children, not the children per se, but the fact that the children go to dancing on a Friday. Things are changing a little bit, but still the children go to dancing on a Friday, and at the moment that doesn't finish at 8 o'clock. Part of that dancing's changing a bit, so that might move a little bit, but not dramatically. Now, there's not many campsites that would let us pull up with a caravan. I can't imagine getting there at 10 o'clock at night. It's obviously pitch black. The kids probably should be in bed by then, so it's not really ideal, because then you've got to spend, the best part of half an hour, 45 minutes setting up the van. And the other problem we've mentioned time and time again is that campsites often want you off on the Sunday at 11 o'clock, which then means you get in one day. It's not like you can then use that Sunday to your effect, which we can with a motorhome. We can drive it somewhere, maybe not in the middle of a town, but we can drive somewhere, and the whole of Sunday we've still got that time to explore and adventure a bit. The other thing that I've noticed, and I was going to make a separate vlog on this, kind of sensationalise one like we always do, sometimes some people do to get views, is about the price of replacement cars. Our car has just gone over 100,000 miles. We've had it since it was 37,000 miles during the time when Boris came and told us we had to stay at home. And it's been an absolute workhorse. Apart from the radiator issue, there's been nothing mega on it. That's all sorted, by the way, now. So we're looking to go, if we get a caravan again, we don't need a new tow car straight away, but 100,000 miles when it's got the best part of 2 ton the back of the kind of caravans I like, it might start struggling a little bit. So I started looking at a newer Kia Sorento, an XC90, all that kind of stuff, and the prices of those are still pretty high. So yes, we might be able to get a caravan for 16, 17 to 20,000, a couple of years old or not too old, decent make and stuff like that. But we're still going to have to go and buy a new tow car, and we're quite limited due to the fact that I've got 3 kids. And even a lot of the supposed bigger tow cars have really rubbish middle seats or have massive transmission tunnels, which isn't ideal. Now, at some point, we are going to have to buy a newer car anyway. But if we get a newer car and we get a motorhome, we're going to buy a smaller car, or particularly a more efficient car, because the Kia Sorento is, like I said, it's a beast. But you're talking, you know, low 20s when you've got the Caravan on. Around the houses, you're talking probably low 30s. On a run, it'll probably get about nearly 40. So we do love my Kia Sorento. I've got no qualms about keeping it at the moment. So we did look. To be fair, we did look. And like I said, we looked at pitch prices again, which I think is still astronomical. I know people have to make a living, but I still think they're a bit too high for us. And if there was a way that a lot of campsites would let us stay on the Sunday till later on, I think some will, because they'll not have people coming in, and that would be great. But a lot of people are like, oh, well, you'll have to pay for an extra night. So you'll get there and you'll stay till what, like 6 o'clock on the Sunday, and you'll have to pay for a full night. And I kind of get why, because they're losing the pitch overnight. But really paying another 50 quid when a lot of these sites, you know, they've got toilets, but they're not really amazing for the amount of money. So that's my little rant about that off. So one's the Hymer, and the other one is a much newer motorhome. It's a 2015. It's been sold by a bit like the Motorhome Hub, a Scottish version of that. And they've had a Bailey Approach 655. I'm not always the biggest fan of Bailey's. Our motorhome, our last Caravan did have damp in a couple of places starting to come up. We had to even paint the floors with wood harder to get it sorted, but I mean, it is sorted. It was sorted by the end. And I think it's just the way that they're designed. They're always going to have, every Caravan has issues. Bailey's is the floors, we know that. Although the Bailey Caravan, Bailey brand were absolutely great and spot on. So it's whether we can get that, but obviously that's going to cost us more money. Not ridiculously amount more money. The compromise with the Bailey is storage. It doesn't have a garage. It doesn't have an overcab, which in some ways I like, but obviously not having an overcab, all that's gone, and it means obviously every night we're going to have to set up 3 beds, where at least with the Hymer we would probably have to set up 1 bed. So there's a little bit of a decision to be made. We're not sure what we get the Bailey for, 32, 33. So it's at least 5,000, maybe £6,000, but we're getting, it's got the Alco chassis, which is galvanised, so often it doesn't have as many rust issues, but it does have a Peugeot boxer on the front rather than a Fiat, and I know the Peugeot boxers aren't as reliable on the whole as the Fiat with the 2.3 litre engine, although they're better galvanised as well and don't rust as much. So it's a little bit of a decision time on that one. I'm going to give them a ring today, and I'm going to have a chat about prices. Has it had a hab check, or do you need a hab check? The amount of motorhomes that don't have hab checks is much worse than Caravans. But oh yeah, we got it done like 4 years ago, and it definitely hasn't got damp. And you're like, well, you don't know it hasn't got damp because you've bought it and you haven't checked on it. So anyway, that's by the by. Quite a few people, when they've got their motorhomes, don't seem to get it serviced every year. Now they might say they're only doing 3,000 to 4,000 miles, but in my opinion, you should still be getting your motorhome service, getting the oil dumped out of it. Worst case, oil and filter, just to keep it ticking. You don't want any major issues with it. So that's where we're at. Because when I was 27,000, get a 2009. Hymer's got a good name and reputation. As it's got a tiny bit of damp, but that's easily fixable. Rust is a little bit of a problem underneath for me, my liking. Or we try and get this more expensive motorhome, which sounds great. But at the same time, you know, because we had the Caravan, because we've got 3 young kids, we haven't spent a lot of money on the house. So there's things that need doing. We did a brand new fence. We could do with having the flat roof replaced in places. We've got a massive bay front window that's needs a few £1,000 spent. So all kind of things that do need sorting, but nothing like mega, apart from the fence does need quite quickly sorting, which I imagine will be a few grand to sort out. So that's where we're at. If you could let us know what your opinions are on that, or if you've gone from a Caravan to a motorhome and gone back, or you've got a motorhome and you're going back to a Caravan or whatever, any of those kind of different options, that would be good. Because I suppose, because getting near the new year, we have to plan what we're going to do in the summer next year. Whether we stay in statics again, which I actually quite like, but I don't like the fact that then we haven't got access to something all year round. And with us being a family of 5, we have to pay for 2 hotel rooms. Or yeah, we go and buy the Hymer or the Bailey and see how it goes. A couple of years time, we know never more, we might go back to a Caravan, just because it'll probably save us a lot of money. But who knows? So hopefully you had a great Christmas, and hopefully that gives you a bit of an update about where we're at. We haven't disappeared completely. We hopefully will make some videos, whatever we get in the future. And I hope you have an amazing new year and have a great start to 2025. Thanks for watching.